So Saturday comes. Saturday's the big Mindsight demo in the main Crystal Ballroom. We're talking like a 3,000 plus ballroom, like so many seats. It's a huge place. I think it ended up being just over half full for the demo. Dude, I wanted to prove a couple of things at Contact in the Desert. Like I said, dude, I wanted to prove at the intuitive perception, I wanted to get distance. Like I went there with, in my heart, I wanted to prove distance, right? I wanted to prove everything else that I could that I thought Mindsight could be made into, right? So if you were going to prove to somebody that you had Mindsight, you would prove maybe color recognition, symbol recognition, being able to complete a task, navigation, and reading. Those are really the things I figured you could do with really any vision. But if you were to break Mindsight into specific tasks, those were the 5 I wanted to catch. So I did the color, and I wanted to do it in a competitive way. So I did all in 5 minutes. I had Captain Ron with a timer right behind me. Ended up doing the pegboard under a minute. I've got that unlocked now. I'm right at a minute, but I can do it in a minute or less. Jump off stage, literally jump off stage, run around the stage, actually make it all the way to the back till I ran into my first chair. Totally ran to a chair. I'll admit it. Did not see the chair. Senses did not catch that chair. But I ended up running past the Nerf gun. So this Nerf gun ends up being pretty amazing. So I run past this Nerf gun to where I think there's a station set up, right? I think the Nerf gun's at the station, but Akeem the whole time was throwing me curveballs, I think, just to make sure I was legit, right? So he's like putting things in places where, like, not that I needed to know where they were, but like I had no idea where they were. So I'm in front of all these people trying to figure this out on the fly. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
ended up finding this gun. I shoot targets just like we have at some of our demos from that target station. Then I call out all these different shapes and colors. I have a person who had one of my whiteboards that we do the remote viewing on that I sell at the skywatching events. I had them write what they had for breakfast. Totally person just wrote it. Anybody knew, just wrote it. I ended up reading it, jumped back on stage, ended up calling out a couple of cards that people just had on them, not even our property. Do amazing, man, and did it all in under 5 minutes. Pat, for her demo, dude, she had, I think it ended up being like 7 or 8 layers, ending in like metals and leather, calling out, colors. And Dahlia did her thing, dude, as she always does. She was taped in, eye patched in. I think she had pirate eye patches on, then like a soft, blindfold kind of thing, then the mindfold over that, totally showing that there's just, even at that point, it's just compression on the face. You know what I mean? Did her thing at a distance as well. Sean and Justin, dude, I just want to talk about this. You're Justin, but Justin at Contact in the Desert, I never got to know his last name. I think it's announced in one of the demos when you go online.
Yeah, they
Like,
just
Sean and
posted
Justin
part
are
2. I haven't watched it yet. I'm really excited to watch it.
dude.
Yeah.
Sean was in Superhuman, and I knew about Sean through the 100 blindfolds thing that's on social media.
Yeah,
But I
1,000
wasn't aware of Justin,
blindfolds.
dude.
Yeah.
And Justin sat next to me in the demo, and there was this moment, dude. And I can just, Justin, if you watch this, I felt every moment coming off of you, and I could totally relate because Justin's blind, and he had to separate these shapes. And not only was he calling out the shapes, but he was able to determine if they were closed or open, right? And so, and he was able to get the shapes, and you could tell he was super nervous, and he didn't know he didn't know if he was doing it right. And they have had a couple where they weren't right? But he ends up doing this whole set completely at 100%. And you could just feel this wave of like, oh my God, I really did it. And he started to like tear up, and you could just feel that moment, man. And it's just like, this blind dude just showed how real this is.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I
the
mean?
truly incredible thing for any of the skeptics. The fact that Dahlia has been helping teach actual blind people to be able to see and come and demonstrate live, that is truly like mind blowing. And like the world deserves to know this, and like this deserves
Dude,
to go mainstream.
Sean can remove his prosthetic eyes, both their eyes are prosthetic. He removed them on stage. He was able to tell if things were low, down, left, right. Spatially, he was able to get the, like I always talk about, like you kind of get this spatial sense first when you start to go distance, right? and you could just tell that's exactly what he was doing, right? You could just the way that he was moving, both of them were moving in the same ways too. It's like, dude, there it is. You are a skeptic. You want the proof, dude. Both dudes are blind, doing it, and you know that we even tried to do like it was such a good flow and such a good vibe. We even tried to do a little bit of like telepathy through like a board or like a remote viewing, kind of like we're doing with the Zener cards with weird technologies and all that, where you can't see them. There's no visual at all. You're precogging it or you're remote viewing it. You know what I mean? That went okay, but dude, when they were doing the hands on demos, it was just next level, right? And needless to say, dude, from that point forward, it was like mini celebrity at Contact in the Desert. Dude, I had breakfast with Diane Hennessy and was talking about my experience with folks with autism and being the teacher and the size stuff. And dude, there's just so much. It was just like it as well was 7 in the morning because I would also help get the booth set up every morning. It was 7 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night every single night. And
Yeah.
I think even Contact in the Desert, I think, was probably more like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
honestly. And
Probably.
so, dude, and so Saturday goes amazing. We end up going and having dinner with Akeem as like a team and talking about, what side games is going to look like. And that was kind of the first, there's one of the dudes on the team named Tyler and me. That's when me and him are really talking about like, dude, like, he's worked with the Ryan Institute and like, how can we really set the standards, have the side games be the true ethical standards of these abilities. Right. And that's when we first were talking about this like full face mask. Right. And so we go to dinner. It's amazing, by the way. And thank you, Hakeem, for two amazing dinners. I appreciate them. But and we were helping out the whole day. This whole time, dude. Chris Ramsey, the Third Eye Drops guy. I'm so bad with these names.
Michael Phillips.
Mike, yeah. Paul Smith, the remote viewer. The one of the really famous abductees. I forget her name. It's dude, just all of these famous people were doing this
Yeah,
flow state,
there are so many
and
people. Everyone was there. I saw
dude,
online
everyone,
every person was there. Yeah, like
and dude,
Paul Hynek
everybody
being
wanted to
up on
try that
stage and
flow
everything
state
too. Yeah,
machine. Dude,
yeah.
everyone wanted to try that flow state machine. I think Ryan Bledsoe was up to it at one point, and him and Chris Ramsey were kind of seeing what their brains do. It was so much, and just you're seeing these amazing people on the same technology that you were just playing on, and dude, it was just next level. I will lovingly say this. Our booth, at least in that area, just had the most traffic because everybody wanted to see and maybe even get into that chair for that for the for the flow state machine, dude. It's next level. It's next level. There's just no other way to put it. And so Saturday goes amazing. We have this dinner, and Saturday's like the main party night, right? And there's this band, and you know me, dude. I'm kind of a kind of a weird guy. Sometimes is all the nice way I'll say it. So I dressed up in my, the I lovingly had to go out my final award ceremony at my motocross, and I had just won the side games and all this stuff. So I dressed like Beckna, like I was a black suit and tie Beckna. I have these like red like veiny things going up. I have these jeans that match, and I look badass in my opinion. But it's definitely like it's sequence. Like it's crazy. And so I wear this to this party, right? And it's cool. And one of the things that was like the precursor to the party was this thing from Chris Ramsey called Magic, Magic, Magic. And during this, he talks about, what like stage magic might look like, and then he got into more like kind of like psi and making things happen, but wording things so that they are more likely to happen. So it's, kind of a second level magic. And then like true magic, like transportational magic, you know what I mean? Like real psi abilities, um, things that you can't explain, right? And so part of what he did, and I'm glad he did it, is he used not the mindfold that we use, but he used like a tied blindfold, right? And what he was saying is out the bottom, you could see out of a tied blindfold. Not saying that's the blindfold we use. He didn't talk any crap on that, but he did kind of talk a little bit of crap on Mindsight, just straight up. He did. I'm a Mindsight dude who had just done this huge demo, and he comes out and says that, and it's kind of like, ooh. But I have like, but I love it. Like, dude, dude, totally cool. He was, but he made a good point, right? And there's so many skeptics that would say that exact same thing, right? And I already had this bug in my ear from Tyler from dinner, right? And then it's like Chris Ramsey's like, dude, that's your goal. That's your new goal. You went and you just went to contact in the desert. You did all the things you wanted to do there. This is your new goal, man. And I won't go into these quite yet, but I, at this point, I know I have to make a full face.
Yeah.
I have to put the haters down, dude. I want to prove to everybody, and I've already proven it to myself. I've proven it to you. I've proven it to my friends and family. Anybody that's seen it in person, like I am the shower. Like I don't say if I don't have it in the bag, I don't have it in the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
That's a,
I
I
was
want to
just that.
say,
Go
yeah,
ahead,
I
man.
want to say, I saw Jesse Michaels on one of his recent videos. I talked about it, but he actually like threw some shade towards Dahlia and brought up
Yeah,
like the Danny Jones podcast and was bringing up like, yeah, like I think these psi abilities are real, but I also think there's like some scammery going on or some, I can't remember exactly what he said, but like, and then he was talking about the Danny Jones podcast and it showed a clip of Dahlia doing Mindsight and like, he brings up the fact he's like, "It clearly looks like she's trying to peek because she's, like, going like this, trying to see or whatever," and then what pissed me off is the clip that he used, you can clearly see she has eye patches on under the
yeah,
mindfold, and then she has, like, the mask on, so it's not just, like, she had one layer of thing on so even if she was peeking, like, she had a whole 'nother layer to look through. But yeah, that's why I think it's really cool what you're doing, like starting to come out with now, because we are getting these large YouTubers who are in this consciousness field and they're talking about these things and they are putting a little bit of shade on this mindsight ability, which I mean, I believe is real. You believe is real. We're at this point where we're not trying to convince anymore. This is already real for us. We're just trying to document and show everyone like this is
dude.
what Ryan is capable of. This is where he's at right now. And we can progress and get better if we practice, just like with any skill or ability in life.
Dude, you know, I just want to say this and I want to say this before I forget it in my brain. One of the reasons I love you, dude, and I love David and Kari is you guys are about the community and love and you guys are real. Like if it's kind of bullshit, you'll say it's kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? And if it's not bullshit, you're gonna say it's not. You know what I mean? And I guess the other thing is it's from this like love base, right? It's this support base, I guess is the way to put it. And dude, I know these people. Do you know what I mean? And just for the record, Sean and Justin cannot fake it. Point blank. So I'm sitting there thinking, I just ran, Chris Ramsey says that, and I'm sitting there thinking, dude, I just ran around stage. And if that's what people are really thinking, when that's not at all what's happening in my head, you know what I mean? What can I do about this? Right. So that happens Saturday night. So Saturday night ends on kind of a melancholy. And that's when I was telling you, dude. And I'm just going to say it again because I don't know if you recorded it before, but I literally was kind of struggling that night, man. I'm like, I respect Chris Ramsey. You know what I mean? I fucking think he's hilarious. I think he's a good dude. I love Area 52. But having
Yeah.
that
Same with Jesse
happen,
Michaels. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But also like people just kind of talking shit on it. Just dude, the whole thing that we have been battling since we released our original video, dude, of just the naysayers, right? And having to prove it, feeling like because it is so real, like it is real. And there's just no other way for me to prove it at this point, right? And so also setting that like tone and that standard through the side games, not to be weird, but like, one thing that the reason I bring up like the love, I'm getting all excited, my stomach's getting all upset. One of the reasons that I brought up your love and your community base, dude, is Akeem's the same way. I will tell everybody I love that dude. He's a legit dude. Everything he has told me he's done. He's done it in a timely manner. Dude is legit. He's a good dude. You know what I mean? And his whole basis is this support and community, this love, this respect, this like keeping it real. I think that's why he likes to throw me the curveballs and these other things. But dude, but it keeps it real and it keeps it to where it's like there isn't a way to cheat it because I didn't know he was going to throw me that curveball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Plus,
you
it's
know,
just pushing your limits, so you're getting even better because you're getting pushed out of your like comfort zone.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And when you, dude, when you go to this intuitive perception and you meet the girl that I keep referring to, who was next level, literally was 11. You know what I mean? Short of blowing the Demogorgon up with her
Yeah.
hands, this
We
girl
mean
was next level.
11 from Stranger Things, not 11 years old. She is
No,
the
not 11.
literal
11 from
11 from
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Yes.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
dude. But it just, you know, so it ends melancholy. I like literally kind of. I'm still dressed up. I had this weird experience in the bar. Luckily, this dude named David, shout out David from Psy Games. David is a big dude. And I had this dude kind of hassling me when I'm already feeling kind of down. David goes and kind of makes himself known, and it ends on a good note. But I go up to my room. It and also the Chris Bledsoe thing had happened right before that, like where I met David and Kari for the Chris Bledsoe skywatch. I'm gonna say it wasn't bad. Like we definitely saw some stuff. They had the same stuff that we were running, dude. Can you just? I just have to tell you this. Our Colorado crew is the. You don't cuss on your show. I'm not gonna
It's
cuss.
fine. It's fine.
Dude,
Go
our
for it.
Colorado crew is the fucking coolest crew there ever was. David and Kari were set up before everybody else. They had their night vision. Nobody else had like a station for night vision. David and Kari did. All of us, this dude named Mark too, all of us brought our lasers. And I'm just gonna say it, Chris Bledsoe was missing a bunch of stuff. So we were pointing it out. And then Ryan Bledsoe told us to stop. So we got told to kind of tone down a little bit, and I'm over in the corner, dude. You know, when I see my stuff, I get like super
Right.
animated. You know what I mean? And I'm having
Yeah.
to sit there like super quiet, like there's one right there, one right there. I got my
Right.
laser. I got my laser, but like you're not allowed to have a laser. I'm like, dude, it's right there. Just look right
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? But it was good, but like it wasn't as amazing as I was hoping in my heart. I will definitely say ours just had a little bit more love, and we get a little bit more, because of that, I think. But
It's
where I was
also
gonna say,
hard when
man,
you
is
have that many people too.
it's true. That was
Because
that
like
was a lot of people.
we have a small intimate group, and it's like that I feel like helps a lot because when you do get those larger crowds, like you don't know what everyone's
Where
mindset
they're at.
is, you don't know and
Yeah.
everything. And but yeah, definitely like plus our location, like I really feel like our location is really good. I'm gonna look more into like because
Dude, we gotta look into the ley lines.
I had my geology class last semester, and I was just in class and he put up a map of uranium deposits in Colorado, and the largest deposit in Colorado is exactly where we keep recording that parade at 10:30 at night.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, dude,
So,
this is why we're the cool kids, because
yeah.
we're making the connections.
And I mean, doing it in a scientific way, that's like a thing I really want to stress too. Like we are trying to do this very scientifically. We're trying to document this to the best of our abilities. We're not just like I mean,
Throwing it out there.
we are new to this. We don't know how to document this the best way, but we are learning every time that we do this and each event that we have. And like, I just can see
It's
our
getting better every
progression
time.
every time. Yeah.
Dude, so I go to my room on Saturday night. I'm kind of in this weird state, melancholy. I kind of am teary eyed because it's like, dude, like, is this really what I need to be doing with my life? Like, I've got this great career now, being the social worker with the foster care system. I actually just got a car today from them, not a car to own, but I got a company car, so I'm not putting all the miles on my truck.
Yeah. That's nice.
And they've just been super good, man. They've been super chill to me, and I don't I'm not saying I'm going anywhere with that, but it's also like how much should I be devoting over there and truly making an impact on these kids' lives, or do I keep pushing over here, right? And so I literally went out the rooms, dude. It was a resort. It was badass. The rooms all have these crazy balconies. People by the pool were putting the aliens like Larry over
Yeah.
here over the top, and it was just it was such a cool vibe. But I'm like literally overlooking one of the mountains that's like real close to the resort, right? And I'm like, if I'm meant to do this, if it's meant to be this size stuff, I need a sign, mom. I was talking to my mom straight up, and I'm kind of putting it out to universe too. You know what I mean? I need a sign. And literally within about 5 minutes of me doing that, I'm out there for like half an hour just thinking in my head, right? No lights, no orbs, just crickets and hot desert wind. You know what I mean? And I say this out loud, and I start to get the like, the kind of streakers, not the fast streakers, but like where you actually see them kind of come in. They'll maybe go, a little bit across the skyline, not like the ones that go all the way across, but just, the short in and out. And so they start coming, right? And I'm starting to get excited. I'm like, please, show me one that gets real intense and stops, and it happens, right? And I'm like, show me like something else. Show me something I'm not going to be able to forget. And dude, the triangles for me are the thing. Triangles show up everywhere, and so literally this one came in like super hard on the bottom left, and then did the triangle, and I caught it on video. I posted it, and I'm like, all right, full face mask, dude. That's the new goal. Fine. Dude, we can be the social worker, and we're not gonna stop doing that. It just means I'm not gonna sleep. Not gonna sleep till it's all done. But dude, now the motivation has been this Mindsight mask.